Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah Presley and today we are going to be doing a breath meditation. But in this breath meditation, we are going to be noticing a slight moment that happens between the breaths. And we breathe in, we breathe out, and we're going to notice a slight moment before the next breath arrives, knowing it will arrive. Now, the name of this meditation is pauses between breath, but I want to stress something here. We are not holding our breath. You will not be holding your breath. The reason I'm stressing that is because we are noticing the breath in its natural way. And quite often when people hear the word pause, they think that they have to hold themselves in some way. They have to wait for something. And that's not what is going to be happening in this meditation. In this meditation, we breathe in, we breathe out, and we notice a tiny weeny moment that just happens really naturally before the next breath comes in. And the way we're going to do it as well is at the beginning, we're just going to be noticing the breath in its natural way. We're breathing in and breathing out. And we're going to take our time before we reach that point and start noticing that slight moment between the breaths. So it's not something we're going to be searching and seeking for. It's actually something that after a while, it comes to us and we start noticing it in its own way, in its natural way as it's meant to occur. And it will often happen at that point where in meditation, where we've been focusing on our breath, the relaxation response has kicked in and all of the systems in the body have unlocked. And so we're able to actually breathe a lot slower and a lot deeper. Now, at the beginning of this meditation as well, I'm going to invite you to set an intention for your practice today. And it could be that you might want to have a sense of being kind to yourself today with your practice, or it could be that you maybe want to be a bit more patient with yourself in your practice, or anything else. Sometimes setting an intention helps our body and mind to really engage with what we want for our experience. So there's an invitation to do that today if you want to as well. And being kind to yourself within your meditation practice, if you decide to pick that one, is really important because often we're harder on ourselves than we are with other people, and we can judge our meditation practice quite harshly. So maybe just bringing that element to yourself might soften the way that you are and help your meditation to flow in a much better way. So get comfortable now. And you can be on a chair or laid on the floor or a bed or a couch. Closing your eyes or put your eyes on a fixed spot of the room. And tune into yourself right now. Just be aware of your body resting on the chair. And as you do so, you might be aware of the room that you're in. You might be aware of temperature, smells, or sounds. And whatever is there, just let it be there, just forming the backdrop to your meditation experience today. And come back to tuning into your body and noticing the surface that your body is resting on. Notice how you're being held by that surface and how that surface is being held by the ground and the earth. So know that you can rest in your experience today. And start paying attention to your breath coming in and out of your body in its natural way. There's no need to change your breath, but just witness the breath coming into your body and back out again. Aware of my breath coming in, aware of my breath going out. aware of my breath coming in, aware of my breath going out. Maybe you notice the breath at your nose, maybe at the tip. Maybe you're aware of the movement of breath coming up through your nostrils and back out again. Maybe you're aware of temperature or pressure. Or maybe you follow the sensation of breath up through your nostrils, through your throat and into your chest before you exhale. Before you exhale and release. And if your mind is wandering, don't worry. Just come back to the breath. Back to noticing your breath. Aware of my breath coming in, aware of my breath going out. Maybe you're noticing the muscles on your chest wall rising and falling as you breathe. Or maybe you notice how your lungs expand and deflate. Or maybe you're aware of your breath deep down in your abdomen, noticing how your diaphragm rises up as you breathe in and then goes back towards your spine as you breathe out. Or maybe you're aware of your breath somewhere else. And wherever your mind goes, whether you're planning, remembering, worrying, or even daydreaming, don't worry. The moment you realise, just come back to your breath, come back to your body, aware of my breath coming in, aware of my breath going out. And by now you might be aware that the relaxation response has kicked in and all the systems of your body are unlocking and everything is beginning to calm down. You may have noticed that your breath has become deeper and slower. And as you breathe in and breathe out, always knowing that the next breath is going to follow, you might notice the slight moment in between the breaths. You breathe in, you breathe out, and then there's a slight moment before the next breath arrives. It's not a holding of the breath, it's just noticing something that is very naturally there. It might be a tiny moment, a very slight moment. Just begin to witness that moment. And you can release any anticipation you have about that moment and just allow yourself to surrender into it. So just feeling the breath coming in, feeling the breath going out, and just sitting with awareness of the breath arriving and leaving, noticing that slight moment before the next breath arrives, knowing it will arrive. It's a bit like watching waves, standing on a beach, watching the waves, noticing the waves coming in, noticing the waves going out, knowing that sometimes there's a slight moment before the next wave comes along. And you could always use this image to match with your breath if it helps. Or if you prefer staying with the sensation of breath, just feeling the breath coming in, feeling the breath going out. Now very gently surrender your breath and just sit, just experiencing your body and mind. And when you feel ready, gently opening your eyes. Excellent, well done. So, it's not a holding of the breath, it's noticing something that is naturally there. And when we start witnessing those moments, we're very aware that we can't silence the mind because the mind is not designed that way. But what we can start witnessing is a slight moment of silence that resides within us. And it's always with us, and it's between the breaths, that's where it exists. And we can draw comfort from that feeling that silence, that silence and rest is very naturally there, and it's in our reach. Now, if you found it challenging today, don't worry. It might be that you're trying to still hold the breath in some way, and you can always give this another go another time, but don't judge your practice. Remember, it is a practice, and we always got to have a starting point, with all of these things. And sometimes when things become more familiar, we're able to release and surrender into it when we know what's expected. So thank you so much for joining me today. It's been such a pleasure sharing this meditation with you, and I look forward to sharing more with you another time. Lots of blessings your way. Goodbye.